Okay, it's the 10th of April 2024, and about November of 2023, let's see, November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months ago, I etched this tank with phosphoric acid, neutralized it, rinsed it, dried it, and then coated it with West System Flexible Epoxy. And that stuff is not supposed to be gasoline and ethanol resistant, or at least not ethanol resistant. But this tank had gas in it for 6 months, and the coating is not soft. It is not deteriorated. It is not come loose. It's coated well. And the generator's been working just fine all through the winter, like it was supposed to do. So, despite West System saying that this stuff is not ethanol resistant, it's done just fine here. The gas has been in there continuously for 6 months, and if it was going to soften it, loosen it, or dissolve it, it would have done it in that time, I believe. So, despite the off-label use, it seems to have stood up to the California fuel, which has got a lot of ethanol in it, and causes a lot of people a lot of grief in their fuel systems. But this is done just fine. I just took a pump and pumped the fuel out of here so that I could check this coating to see if it had gotten soft, and I can't scratch it with my fingernail. It hasn't come loose up here in the top where there's vapors all the time and where the ethanol vapor would concentrate. So I think that this is a viable fuel tank coating product, as long as you've got all the loose rust and stuff out. That's why I etched it first. We know we got a good bond to the metal, and so the only variable then was the ethanol in the fuel going to attack the epoxy. And so, despite my having put up warnings that this was an experimental coating and maybe not reliable, I think for the cost of the material, which is not very great, I think, if I remember right, I diluted this stuff with acetone so that it would coat the tank well. And I used a lot of epoxy, and most of the epoxy that I used, I drained back out into a can, and it's out solidified in a can in my shop. So I used far more material than I needed to. I think I could have done this with maybe an ounce of resin and an ounce of hardener, and thinned with acetone so it would slosh around the tank well. So I used several times that, and most of it was wasted. Anyway, a good result, and I think I'm now willing to use this on something more important like motorcycles. Most of the stuff being sold on the market is failing badly. Of course, a lot of people don't prep their tanks properly to begin with, but I bought some very expensive stuff under a car restorer label, and it was like $60 for a can of it, and it's full of xylene, which is highly carcinogenic, very dangerous, xylene and MEK, and very dangerous to work with. And this epoxy doesn't give off a lot of fumes, so if you keep it off your skin, pretty safe to work with. So there you go.